They don't get it. They just don't get it. Outside of the NBA, there is not another league that refuses to get the hell out of their own way more than the WNBA. For decades, the dump divers in the WNBA, they have been begging to be noticed. For decades, their pretend friends in the mainstream media, they have been begging us to give pretend basketball a chance. These elite athletes are amazing! You don't know what you're missing? No one misses wide open layups like Angel Reese. This league is great! Last summer, after decades of begging, decades of pleading, America was finally willing to pay attention to the WNBA. America was finally willing to give pretend basketball a chance. And all they have done over the last 12 months is give normal people every reason not to watch their product. Several months ago, Caitlin Clark made one of the smartest decisions that I have ever seen a young 22-year-old make. As you guys know, I grew up listening to Howard Stern. I was a daily listener of the Stern Show before he made the courageous transition from Howard to Howie. Hey, it's me, Howie! During his prime in the 90s and 2000s, Howard Stern was everywhere. Best-selling books, he released an autobiographical movie, he was doing pay-per-view specials that were highly successful. Even though he was careful with outside interviews, Howard Stern made consistent appearances on late-night shows, mainly with David Letterman and Conan O'Brien. Well, Casey, what about his bestie, Jim Kimmel? They might be besties, but even Howie was smart enough to recognize that Jim Kimmel was always in last place. At the height of his career, Howard Stern, he used to talk about the opportunities that he was presented and how important it was to say no, how important it was to be selective with the opportunities that you accept. He used to say all the time, do not be desperate, don't say yes to everything. Several months ago, Caitlin Clark was presented with an opportunity. She was offered over $1 million for 2 months of her time. $1 million for 8 weeks of work. I mean, that's not bad money if you can get it. The problem was, this opportunity, it came with a big risk. Unrivaled wanted Caitlin Clark to be the face of their secondary dump. She would be the highest paid player in the league, and the entire league would be built around her. At 22 years old, most people, myself included, we would not have the wisdom to decline that opportunity. But to her credit, Caitlin Clark did, because she knew if Unrivaled failed, which we all knew it would, that failure, it would be blamed on Caitlin Clark, and her value, her drawing power, it would plummet. Instead, Unrivaled is meeting expectations by being a huge embarrassing failure, and Caitlin Clark's value, it is surging. It is no coincidence that Unrivaled is struggling and Caitlin Clark's agent is complaining to ESPN about how underpaid and undervalued her client is in the WNBA. That is not a coincidence. Now, even though Caitlin Clark's value has risen, even though she has brought mainstream attention to the dump, the increased attention, it has magnified the problems in the WNBA, with the main problem being WNBA players, they are not ready for prime time. WNBA players are not ready for the mainstream. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Let's go and get to the sponsor for today's video, my good friends at Sugar Mountain Trading. Are you struggling with back problems? Do you deal with minor aches and pains throughout your day and you don't want to go to the doctor because all the doctor's going to do is find something else wrong with you? Or even worse, prescribe addictive medication that you just don't want to take? Me personally, I hate going to the doctor. So does my wife, who actually deals with back pain, which is why she started using CBD lotions and oils from Sugar Mountain Trading. Now, this is not THC. This is not going to make you fail a drug test. These CBD lotions and oils, they are designed for rapid pain relief. My wife, like I said, she deals with nagging back pain from time to time. We have tried over-the-counter stuff. We have tried the chiropractor. Nothing ever seemed to work. Within 5 minutes of me applying CBD lotion from Sugar Mountain Trading, my wife's back pain, it was gone. I'm telling you, it's damn near magical. My wife keeps a bottle with her in her purse at all times. Sugar Mountain Trading also offers CBD bar soap that will keep you pain-free and smelling fresh at the same time. The bar soap, it comes in a variety of scents ranging from lavender to cherry almond. All CBD products offered at Sugar Mountain Trading, 100% natural, 100% free of THC. So click the link in the description below. Use my promo code BTL20, BTL20. Save 20% off your first purchase with Sugar Mountain Trading. Sunday afternoon, the Indiana Felines proudly announced that they were signing Brianna Turner. Well, KC, who in the hell is Brad Lerner? Brianna Turner is one of the veteran unknowns in the WNBA. During her college years, she spent 5 years at Notre Dame. She missed the entire 2018-19 season due to injury. Ironically enough, that is the one season that Notre Dame won the national championship. Strange. Last year, Bree T, she was teammates with Angel Reese at the Dump in Chicago, where she averaged 4 points along with 7 missed layups a game. According to the WNBA's website, Brianna Turner airballs 64% of her free throws. Now, if this were the NBA, Brianna Turner would be considered a role player. But in the WNBA, these impressive numbers would qualify Brianna Turner to be the MVP of the league. Sunday, the Felines announced that they signed Brianna Turner. Since Sunday was a big day in sports with the NFL and Major League Baseball being in their off seasons, the NBA and the NHL being in the midst of their all-star breaks, since it was such a big day in sports, the signing of Brianna Turner, it was overlooked by the media. Instead of talking about this major signing by the Felines, the media, they were wasting their time talking about the Orange Man riding in circles around a racetrack in Daytona. Since she was being ignored by her pretend friends in the mainstream media, Bree T, she decided to get on social media and do something to cure her attention withdrawals. Check it out for yourself. Friendly reminder, I am against all forms of discrimination, mythical racism, sexism, homophobia, transphobia, claustrophobia, fat phobia, which is now being called scared of body positivity because fat is a forbidden word. I am also against misogyny, and I will not bend the knee unless I'm kneeling for the national anthem. What? Excuse me? What the hell is she talking about? When Brianna Turner signed in Chicago last year, I don't remember her getting on Twitter and lecturing people about claustrophobia. I don't remember her sharing her concerns about people who are afraid of closets. So, why does she feel the need to give this passionate lecture after signing with the Indiana Felines? This is a direct shot at Caitlin Clark. The ink hasn't even dried on the napkin that her contract was written on. Brianna Turner hasn't even hopped on the Schwinn to ride to Indianapolis, and she is already accusing the fan base of being racist. She is already diagnosing the fan base with a litany of phobias. I didn't know that Brianna Turner was a psychiatrist. I mean, I knew most WNBA players had 2 or 3 jobs, but most of them are working at Bearded Burger Queen during the off-season. I didn't know Brianna Turner had her own practice and she was diagnosing patients. But KC, Brianna Turner is brilliant! She received her master's degree in social justice and human rights! Oh. Now it makes sense. So what you're telling me is Brianna Turner was indoctrinated at Woke U. No wonder she is inclined to diagnose anyone who disagrees with her with being afraid of the alphabet. I know the WNBA is excited. I know they experienced record success last season for the first time ever. Now, of course, they didn't experience record profits. I mean, this league is too busy wasting their time jumping over pesos to grab the turd. Ooh, look at that peso on the ground. Ooh, look at that turd. I know the WNBA is expecting success again this season, but that success is not guaranteed. Matter of fact, far from it. Right now, people have been willing to overlook the bullshit because they want to support Caitlin Clark. So far, her drawing power has been able to overcome the fact that WNBA players, they're just not likable. Outside of Caitlin Clark, this league has everything working against it. You have unlikable players who constantly whine and complain. You have unlikable players who believe they are the ultimate victims of mythical oppression. And to make matters worse, the WNBA product is unwatchable. In terms of professional sports, the WNBA is easily the worst league in America. And you could make a strong case that it's the worst league in the world. The on-court product is absolutely horrific, and it's likely to get even worse because Kat Engelbert wants to expand the league. The WNBA can't find enough quality players to fill rosters on the 12 dumps they already have. Now, Kat Engelbert, she wants to expand the dump, which will cause the lack of quality to decline even further. You have WNBA players accusing their fans of being racist. Now, so far, Caitlin Clark has been able to overcome this onslaught of negativity. Question is, how long will that be sustainable? How long will people be willing to overlook everything else just to support Caitlin Clark? If WNBA players go on strike after this season, this league will never recover. NHL went on strike in the mid-2000s, never recovered. Here we are, 20 years later, and the NHL is just now showing signs of making a comeback. The WNBA doesn't have that luxury because the WNBA doesn't have a fan base. There are people buying tickets to see Caitlin Clark. If she's not playing, there are empty seats in the high school gym. For the first time ever, WNBA players are getting exactly what they asked for. Caitlin Clark has elevated the league into the mainstream. Problem is, the WNBA is infected with an ideology that does not resonate with the mainstream, and they don't have the on-court product to be able to overcome it. Give me your thoughts on this. Brianna Turner signs with the Indiana Felines, becoming teammates with Caitlin Clark. First thing she does is accuse the fan base of mythical racism and a long list of phobias. Will the WNBA be able to replicate the success of last season? Or will the abysmal on-court product combined with unlikable players accusing fans of violating the woke commandments, will that finally catch up with the WNBA and diminish the drawing power of their only star? You tell me. Sound off in the comments below. I'll see you guys tomorrow.